Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make NBA content, NFL, sportsbook, anything you can think of, I make content for. All these videos, they get posted to this Reddit right here, where I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. You can ask me questions leading up to lock about the slate. I will always have this link down below. If you just want to talk anything, I will have that below. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, let me just check Underdog. Last time I checked it, before. Looks like no new news for tomorrow. You can get a hold of me here on X. I'll have that below as well. And then if you're looking for more in-depth content, I will have my Discord link down below where I give you guys sportsbook plays. I go in-depth going over every single slate, a private video, cores, flag plants, and GPPs. Anything you can think of, I will have that down below. All right, let's go over my lineup from last night, and then we'll go over my lineups from today. This is my lineup yesterday. Got into the cash. I don't know how I cashed, but Kevin Porter Jr. 40 bomb tonight. I am so happy for him. But yeah, got into the cash somehow on Wednesday. We didn't have a slate on Thursday because of Thanksgiving. But yeah, was happy to get into the cash with this poop lineup. Um, my biggest stand, I guess, was Miles Turner. He was one of my favorite center plays in the slate. I was shocked he only came in at 6% ownership. I played Saloon. I knew that people were not going to want to click him because of his bad performance last game. They were even thinner, and his minutes are super secure right now. So I actually clicked him. I faded him the slate prior. Clicked him knowing ownership would be down. That worked out. And then, of course, like Denny, everyone else were kind of just nukes. My core was James Harden, Denny, who else was core? Kevin Porter Jr. Andre Drummond was the core here. And yeah, let's get into my lineups from tonight. I'm not going to sweat this. You guys know I just don't sweat. But I will show you guys my lineups. This is one of the lineups. Yeah, pretty nut. I would say pretty nut start, but wait until you see the other lineup. This is my other lineup. Yeah, so I am going to be out for the rest of the night. I am not going to be sweating any of this. Just not gonna not gonna sweat it. Just not gonna sweat it. But yeah, my core today was Martin, Malik Monk, Denny, and then I told everyone to get to at least one of Anthony Davis. I believe Jason Tatum it was. I played both. Um, but yeah, but you guys know I don't sweat my lineups. I was super high on Shake Milton. I played him in all my lineups tonight. As you can see, he was in the other lineup. 3% owned when the Nets were thin, just wild. I basically just jammed the Nets value. Worked out massively for me. So I will let you guys know how tonight finishes tomorrow, or tonight on Reddit. Let me who's adding me really quick, and we'll just get through this. So yeah, I'll let you guys know on Reddit how I finish. So let's go over slate. Philly at Detroit. Good spot here for Philly. We could have Paul George back here if he's back. We also got to keep an eye on Caleb Martin news. Kyle Lowry is also out. Let's say we get everyone out here. Then I absolutely love Tyrese Maxey. I don't know why the price point came down. He's off his limit. He's doing it. You guys know the drill. When Tyrese Maxey has the team to himself and he's below 10K, he's an auto nuke when he's not on a minutes limit. Good spot here going up against Detroit too. I love Maxey tomorrow if Paul George is out. I still really like him if he's in. Jared McCain would be solid at 7-3, just not as good of a play as he once was at this price point, but still firmly in play, of course. I just have a tough time clicking him over Tyrese Maxey at a similar price point. And yeah, if we get the same guys out, Sixers went with a double big lineup. They went with Andre Drummond and Yabusele starting alongside each other with Kelly Oubre. And it's funny because I was going to take Andre Drummond rebounds, and Caleb Martin got ruled out right when I clicked submit, and then the whole board got ripped. I was so mad. But yeah, this game went to overtime. They went with that double big lineup going up against Houston. I don't know if they do it again. We shall see. But if everyone's out, I mean, yeah, I think you got to like both the bigs here, especially if Yabusele's going to play that many minutes. Drummond got into a little bit of foul trouble, I think, but still good point per minute. So definitely interested in both the bigs if they go with that double big lineup. And then Kelly Oubre, I mean, if everyone's out, I really like him at this price point. I don't know what we're doing with the price point there. And then you'll see like KJ Martin. They could start KJ Martin. If he slides into the starting lineup, I'd like him for value. And yeah, if everyone's out, Ricky Council, with how good he's been playing, he's a really productive player. Sixers legend. I would expect low 20s minutes once again here if everyone's out. I would like some Ricky Council for value. Reggie Jackson at 3-1 got booted from the rotation, so I wouldn't go there. But yeah, there will be a ton to like here on the Sixers if everyone's out. Now, if we get Paul George in, I like Paul George quite a bit if there's no limit. I still really like Tyrese Maxey a ton, and then I probably wouldn't get to like Jared McCain. And then just keep an eye on the starting lineup. They'll probably just go like one of the bigs. Also got to keep an eye on Caleb Martin as well, too. So if everyone's in, I would assume it would just be Tyrese, Paul George, Jared McCain, Caleb Martin, and then one of the bigs. Caleb Martin, he back injury. Keep an eye on if he'll be on a limit. Kelly Oubre off the bench wouldn't be as excited about, and then I wouldn't really be on these values. The main interest if everyone's in would just be like Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, one of the bigs. Mainly the top two guys here. And then if, like I said, if everyone's out, I love the Sixers tomorrow. Moving on to Detroit. Fine spot here going up against the Sixers. Keep an eye on. It's a back-to-back. We could have some players rest. Cabe is on the injury report. We could see him rest, I guess. Tobias Harris has been on the injury report. But let's assume they're fully healthy. I do want to see how the minutes are going to fare for tonight. This game was a blowout, but Cade still crushed in the blowout, 33 minutes, Ivy 31, Tobias 30, Tim Hardaway Jr. 27, Malik Beasley, the main guy, off the bench with beef stew, and Ozzer Thompson only playing 12 minutes. Little unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, Cade, with what he's doing right now, he's always going to be one of the best spin-ups on the board. If you're not going to up his price point, he's always going to be a great spin-up. Just legit double close to every single night, can grab rebounds. He's a great spin up. Now picking between him and Kyrie, going to be a super tough choice. But yeah, I think you got to have interest in Cade there. Everyone else is still priced up from when Cade was out. So I have really hard time going to guys like Malik Beasley at that price point off the bench. I guess Tim Hardaway Jr. is a fair value of 4.2K. Low floor when he's not hitting his shots, but when he does hit his shots, he does have a ceiling. We haven't really seen that so far this year. And then if everyone's healthy, I can't get to like Marcus Sasser or Simone, those type guys. I guess Duran, we know his upside. Had a good game tonight in the blowout. I think he's a good contrarian center play. And then Ivy, I would say, is priced right. Yeah, keep an eye on the injury report if there's anyone out for tomorrow. Moving on to Washington. So yeah, Kyle Kuzma gonna remain out here. So starters should be Jordan Poole, Bilal Coulibaly, Malcolm Brogdon, Sarr, and then Keyshawn George. And you'll see more Kispert off of the bench and Bub. Jordan Poole with the team to himself in a fantastic spot going up against the Bucks. Sign me up for that. A really cheap price point. Gonna have to do everything for this team, so I'm really high on Jordan Poole tomorrow. I think Coulibaly, like these secondary plays are fine plays with no Kyle Kuzma. Malcolm Brogdon, the only issue with Malcolm Brogdon is he's not going to play huge minutes, but he is really productive when he's on the court. So of course I still have interest there at 5.7K. It's just he doesn't have a ton of minutes upside, right? Coulibaly, stat sheet stuffer, should play close to 40 minutes in competitive games. I think he's a pretty safe play. And then Sarr at 5.7, they've been going with him over more Jonas of late. Does have a ceiling in GPPs, but ton of blowout risk here. Won't play a ton of minutes if the game blows out, but still a fine play. I think I prefer Brogdon if I were picking between the two in the same price points. And yeah, Keyshawn George I would expect to start. Really like him for value. He kind of busted here as chalk. I'm fine going right back. And then yeah, I like Corey Kispert for value. No Kyle Kuzma, ton of minutes, ton of usage to go around. So really like both those values. And then Jonas Valanciunas should see around 15 to 20 minutes. A decent contrarian value on the slate just because he's going to be so productive when he's on the court, right? And you'll see a bit of Bub, but 5K is a bit right for me. Moving on to the Bucks. So Giannis, I think he's the best spend up on the board in a fantastic spot going up against Washington. I don't think we have to spend too much time there. He looks absolutely fantastic. Damian Lillard, I like his ceiling quite a bit in GPPs. Just you can absolutely play Dame with Giannis if you wanted to, but yeah, love Giannis. I'd prefer getting Giannis over Dame, but if you can't afford Giannis, I think Dame's a really good spend up, even at 9.5K as well. Just Bucks are running a pretty tight rotation right now, and look at the assists. Like he's taking on a much more facilitating role of late. Really good to see. I would say double doubles are definitely a bit of an outlier with him, but still love to see that. Of course, he's going to shoot the ball. The main usage from this team is just mainly those two guys. So yeah, love Giannis. I think Dame's good. Only thing good about Brook Lopez is going to play 40 minutes in competitive games, but at 6.5K, I think he's getting to the price point to where I think he should be. I kind of normally like to play him when one of the main guys are out. Bobby Portis at 6.1K, 18 minutes when Giannis was out, fantastic, which means he'll probably go back to his normal like 25 tomorrow and nuke with everyone healthy. Just disgusting stuff. And then the values, if I were taking darts on anyone, it would probably be like a Torian Prince or a Gary Trent, but I'm not loving much. I'm not going to play Andre Jackson with everyone healthy, but he is a playable value if you need it. I'm probably just not going to go there. All right, let's move on to the Warriors. So this is going to be a headache. Steph Curry is questionable. Andrew Wiggins is questionable. Jonathan Kuminga probable. Last game they went with the starting lineup of, I believe it was Steph, Draymond at the 5, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, or no, 2 games ago was it? Or was it last game? I know one game they benched Trace Jackson Davis. Let me just check. It might have been last game. But that was with Steph out. But Wiggins was healthy, and they started Jonathan Kuminga. So keep it. They could do a number of things with the lineups. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they go back to like Steph Curry and Draymond at the 5, Andrew Wiggins, Lindy Waters. So what? Lindy, Steph, Draymond, Wiggins, Kuminga, and Dudre at the 5. They could in this spot. We also have Nurkic questionable, so that could help them go small. So we'll just keep an eye on the starting lineup here. Trace Jackson Davis they could go back to. Like I said, Steph was out last game, so they could have changed the lineup up, moved Kuminga in just because they had less bodies. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, if everyone's healthy, we all know Phoenix just lets the top guy on their team score. That's what they do. They will let you score on them. And this is a matchup where Steph could absolutely explode. So I am very intrigued by Steph Curry and GPPs tomorrow. Everyone else just kind of looks fine for me. Like, if they go back to Trace Jackson Davis in the starting lineup, sure, you can go there. But the minutes are super volatile with him. Lindy Waters is mid-starting. He should play mid-20s minutes. I actually like him quite a bit for value. Moses Moody will see a bit off the bench. And then if we get, like, Kuminga back in the starting lineup, even off the bench, I think he's a good value. But if they start him, I'd love him for value. Buddy Hield, minutes all over the place. Just a dart in GPPs. And yeah, Draymond, Wiggins are fine. Now, if we get everyone out here, Steph Curry and Wiggins out, I wonder what they do with the starting lineup. They probably go what? Brandon Podziemski, Lindy Waters, Draymond Green. They could go back to Trace and then throw like a Moses Moody in there, potentially. Or they can go back to like Draymond at the 5 and slide, what did I say? Draymond, Pods, Kuminga, Trace, Waters, or yeah, they can go back to Draymond at the 5 and slide like a Moody in there. They could do a number of things, but here's what I will say. If we get everyone out, Draymond Green plays a little bit less, a little bit worse with Steph Curry off the court, but the good thing with Steph off the court is he is actually playing some backup point, so I don't know if those samples from last year are the same. So, like, yeah, definitely have interest in Draymond if Steph Curry is out. Still have interest regardless. And then, yeah, I think everyone here looks a lot better. Brandon Podziemski would shoot up to one of the best plays on the board. Jonathan Kuminga, even if he comes off the bench, would love. If he starts, would absolutely love. Buddy Hield, you have to have interest in. Lindy Waters, I would really like for value. Moses Moody, even if he starts or comes off the bench, would be a good value. They could even start like a Kyle Anderson, right? If Wiggins is out. Kyle Anderson's going to get a minutes bump if all these guys are out. I'd like him for value. So, yeah, there's going to be a ton to like here if everyone's out tomorrow, and then still some interest with everyone in. Moving on to Phoenix. Keep an eye on Bradley Beal. Keep an eye on Yusuf Nurkic. If Nurkic is out, I would just expect Mason Plumlee to move in the starting lineup, or they can go smaller, right, going up against the Warriors. Keep an eye on that. If Plumlee starts, a little bit worried about his minutes, but still he'd be a really solid value. And then if Bradley Beal is out, they could go a number of things. They could do like a Royce or an Okogie, etc. But Grayson Allen would get a bump off the bench. He'd be a playable value. And then just keep an eye on the news. We could have some more value here. And then bump to like Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, as well. Not my favorite spin ups on the board, but with Bradley Beal out, at their price points, they would be too cheap. So they'd be really solid point per dollar plays. Ties at 5-6 would be fine too. And yeah, keep an eye on who they start. If one or both those guys are out, they could do a number of things. Like I said, Royce, Okogie, Grayson will get a bump off the bench. They could even throw like a Dunn in there. Yeah, take a look at that. And then if Beal and Nurk are in, I think the main three look like fine options. I think Kevin Durant would be my favorite at his price point. Would have interest in Yusuf Nurkic, but once again, my worry is they could close small here, and his minutes could get slashed. So a little bit concerning there. But yeah, keep an eye on the news there. And then we get to my favorite team to target on the slate, potentially. No Luka. I think Kyrie Irving looks absolutely fantastic. Great spot going up against Utah. I absolutely love Kyrie Irving tomorrow, even at this price point. If he's low owned tomorrow, I'm going to be all over that. We have Derek Lively back, or I believe he missed a game, right? So Lively, Daniel Gafford, they kind of want to be playing Lively more of late, so hard to get to Gafford at 5.9K. Still some interest in Derek Lively at that price point as well. And yeah, I think the value's here. Spencer Dinwiddie going to get a ton of minutes. I really like him for value. I think Quentin Grimes is a decent value of 4.5K. No Klay Thompson. Najee Marshall going to do a ton, have to play a ton of minutes. I still like him even at 5.8K. And yeah, this team looks fantastic. I think you have to have a ton of interest in Dallas tomorrow. Moving on to Utah. No Clarkson, no Filipowski, so you're going to get the main starters here. Get minutes bumps like Colin Sexton will get a huge minutes bump, so I'm pretty high on him. He always fails his chalk, but still pretty high on him. Walker Kessler in a fantastic spot. She'll play around 30 minutes. Another guy that I like as a center play on this slate. And then Keontae George does seem a little bit too cheap. And then, of course, I like Markkanen, I like Collins. So, like all the top 5 guys here. Hopefully you guys had a fantastic night. I will talk to y'all in the next video.